Life is sweet. Let it sweep you off your feet.
Hi, this is Allie and Find Your Joy. And oh my goodness, aren't we going to have fun? We are having part 2 with the diva and the dirt herself, Ms. Maureen Washington. Welcome back, Maureen.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, I have so many things. I thought, oh, this could take me weeks. So because I was thinking of all the things I wanted to talk to you about.
Do we have a part 3 then?
I would do it. So one of the things that is not really diva in the dirtish, and maybe it is, I'm not sure, but when well, you probably did it before, but around the time with isolation, and it was awesome that your kids were able to come and be with you during that time, but you guys started doing some really fun videos.
Yeah.
Like videos I'm going to say these were pre-gardening videos.
Yes.
One that is coming to my mind, and I'm like, hey, I have a brain injury, and I remember this, and it was 3 years ago. That's how much it impacted me. It was so lovely. And the punchline of it, somehow, I'll just call it that, was that they ended up down at the end of the driveway at a little bistro type table. Yeah. And there was wine and stuff. I don't remember what music was there. I know there was music involved. I know that there was it looked like the editing was just a blast to do because people were popping up here and there and everywhere. And so, I mean, other than that, you are a very large creative family, and you probably just can't do anything else but be that. What inspired that? Like, tell me how that started.
So that was part of Fancy Fabulous Fridays.
Oh, right.
Yes. And the music for that was Billy Joel. And we had clips from Billy Joel. And it just turned out that you could really tell a story of it. But where Fancy Fabulous Fridays came was and I feel a little bit emotional when I think about it, because I had a friend in my former town, and her depression was just overwhelming. She's also got some health issues, and she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. Her name's Jessie, and I just saw a post a post where she just said, "Yeah, here I am again, wearing my yoga pants, and why bother even getting dressed, like the impact was so heavy." And then this I think it was like 3:00 in the morning, I woke up and it was like, we should have a day of dress up. That's what we should do. We could do it on Fridays. It could be Fancy Fabulous Fridays. And so in that, I was wanting to have a group to encourage them to get dressed up, make a nice meal, photograph it, post it onto the page, so that you have something to look forward to. Yes. Because we're all sharing what we ate and how dressed up we were for that day. And we took it seriously. Like as a family, when we have family dinner, we always sit around the table, but tablecloth would come out. Nice, the nice cutlery, the nice dishes, like it was, and we would make good food that day as a family. And so I had a plethora of gowns, so yes. It was like I could gown myself up and in whatever the theme was. And so I had made that first post and invited her in. And then the thing is that she just went crazy and put on her old wedding gown and started doing things throughout the house of cleaning.
I remember that because I was in that little group, and I was getting fabulous every Friday. I was excited about it.
Yes. And so, and it was like, so she posts that and I go, oh my gosh, how do I top that? Like, come on. She's doing housework in her wedding gown. And she goes, yeah, well, it doesn't fit. I didn't show you the back, right? Awesome. And so then the following week, I thought, well, I should I should go outside and do gardening in mine. And it just so happens that I had lost enough weight that I actually could fit in my 32-year-old wedding gown. It was actually too big for me at that point.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it was so, and then my son, he is a photographer. And so he, we lined it up and just did these different shots, and he made a little TikTok. And so that just kind of, it became this morphing thing. I think because I'm a creative being, and I'm like, as an artist, like the same with the patio, I started to decorate outside, and that drew me to go sit out on my patio. It was like, look at this, it's this extension of my house. So again, my creativeness, it was just like, let's make a fun video, and so the very first video that we did was Jailhouse Rock, and all my kidults and I, we all had, striped, black and white stripes. I
remember.
And had my tenant at the time, film us in different parts of the house. But, we started it where we were walking up the driveway as if we were being quarantined to our house. We're going to jail. And then we were all in the black and whites. And then I think, there was a few of these videos. We didn't go very far with it because it was like, I look at that I'm old. And no, I don't have a brain injury, but my old brain doesn't always fire. And so I was looking at my kids. Would you come up with a concept, and then I'll do the editing, and I'll try to do the editing, because I didn't really know how to do editing at the time. And so the Billy Joel was actually Emily. So she's kind of the star of it. And it just became this really great, a great story using different parts of Billy Joel's music. It was one of those things, just like bang, was great. And so that's where Fancy Fabulous Fridays came in, was to bring, a community together to say, we still need to take care of ourselves. We still need to eat good food. We still need to, look nice and to feel good about ourselves.
Yes, because it's exactly true. And I would get so excited on my Fridays. I mean, like, I would be no one who wore pants or bras. I mean, it was just because if anybody saw me, it was only here. If I combed my hair and put a little lip gloss on, I figured I was doing all right. But the Fabulous Fancy Fridays was exciting. And then I was like telling other people to do it. And then we would try to, be sending each other pictures and things like that. And it was another thing that, just like you said, it was building community, and in a time when it was really challenging. And I think that one of the things that I see that you do a lot is, and maybe, I don't know how large your family of origin is. Certainly your family that you have now is with your kids, but you're a community builder, right? That's, probably one of your gifts is that you naturally, people naturally feel comfortable with you. People naturally are drawn to you.
Yeah.
And so that's a lovely thing, because then they're going to look at that, like your friend Jessie, who wasn't doing so well, like, 99.99% of the people on the planet, not calling you out, Jessie. Like, it was a rough time for many, many people. But the things that you did, and that you share them. See, that's the other part. So you did these wonderful things that made life okay for you guys.
Yes.
Then you shared them.
Yes.
And then that made life way better for a whole bunch of us.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is a truly remarkable gift to have. And I don't think, my guess is, I don't know, my guess is that you didn't think, I'm going to do this thing that's going to, I'm going to create this Fabulous Friday, and it's going to inspire people to put a bra on and brush their teeth. I'm going to, you are you. You are just marvelously you.
Thank you.
And it's contagious.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, for Fancy Fabulous Fridays was because I saw one person hurting. Mm-hmm. I wanted to help one person. And so that's what that is. And I am a strong, like, even myself as a musician, you can feel competition, like when there's other singers or other musicians around, there's a competitive thing that goes on. And if I feel it, if you ever see me on stage with a lot of people and you see me start backing up, it's because I will not compete. Because it's like, if you link your arms with me and we all walk together, we all succeed. And it doesn't matter what, how well gifted you are. If we are a wall and a force, we will all move together. And that is my stance for everything in life. It's like, you'll never see me go, I'm the greatest and I'm this and I am the lowest and I'm the humblest, of everybody, because I prefer to see what God has created in people and see them move forward. And so that's my bent, where when I see someone who I can see the potential in them, I will do what I can to push them forward. And, but the great thing is that as I'm pushing them forward, guess who's walking with them right behind me? And so it's like, I live in a place of humility, where I just, would never puff up and go, look at how great I am. Look, well, one of my videos I did go, look at I've grown vegetables, But
and that requires a standing ovation at times. And I think a lot of us who, wherever we come from, whether we've been performers or whatever we've done, in our younger years, we remember those feelings.
Yes.
Right. I remember being younger and doing things and thinking, I don't know if I'm being noticed as I should be. Right. I remember those. And hopefully, as we mature in our gift, as we mature in our life, that same thing, it's like I can't help but see beautiful things in other people. And I know, I get it. God created me to be that way. So what was the words, you're just so annoying sometimes. But the ground that needed to be tilled in that was that in my younger years I could be quite judgmental. And so I needed to work that out, because what the gift was seeing inside people.
Right.
So I needed to, I remember a really amazing, I can't remember who it is right now, but a prophetic type person who said once, don't be thinking that you're prophetically gifted if you can point out what's wrong in another person. We're humans. There's lots to see. It takes no great genius, or you're not Moses when you're or Elijah, because you can say, I see this stuff in this person and I think that's a little bit off. I don't know if I can trust them. Well, Of course you can. You're human and they're human. But for me, when I started to get less insecure, more healed, then that's the stuff that we can see. And I love that you say that, because I can see that, music is like this. It could be this beautiful wall of love, and like you said, if arms are linked, that's a beautiful way to describe that. Then that's what can go out. I love that. That's good. No, that's nice.
And no charge for that one for you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you very much. I'll just put that right in my pocket. I can remember a friend of mine too, when we used to play in a band together, and we were talking about that very thing, that the moment the moment any of us becomes a little aware of ourselves in the middle of a song, whether it's this is great or this sucks or whatever that thing is, but the moment it comes back to us, it's gone.
Yeah.
And so getting back to you with your friend, I think that probably the reason that Fabulous Fancy Fridays was so fabulous, now that you said that was intended for one person, that even makes more sense why it felt so full of love and care, because you were pouring into someone that you loved. And we were just all the grateful recipients. Oh, you good, girl.
but it's never my intent. Like it's never my intent of, it's just like, I'm just looking at one person that's hurting, and so how I can help them. And and that was just, to me, it was a God-inspired idea in the middle of the night. And then bang, here I am, opening it up to people. But I think, like I'm a introverted extrovert.
Mhm.
Which I think many musicians are. You go, you're front and center on the stage. There you are, but yet you're going. All I want to do is be in my bed in my pajamas. It covers up, right? And
Please don't talk to me after. I'm just trying to get home.
exactly. I just got to get my jammies on and just and then just criticize everything I did that was wrong. But
why are you all looking at me?
That's right. That's right. Turn around. I know you paid $30 for that ticket, but look away. Look at me. But again, it's a driven thing in me. So myself as a performer, because I'm an untrained, musician, picked up things along the way and some education.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah. But my first few years, I wouldn't call myself a musician because I didn't have education. I was always worried that my band was going to find out who I was, and then they were going to get out of here. You get out of town, Maureen. You don't deserve to be in this great band. That stayed with me for many, many years. But one of the things, it was Carl Rusing who, because I'm a super emotional musician, the songs, people, who's your favorite artist? It's not the artist, it's what the lyrics do to me, and I get caught up with them. And he and I were still new together as bandmates, and we were flying home, and I'd cry through flipping songs, and I thought, he's totally gonna go, I can't stand it, not working with you, you big crybaby. And so I kind of so yeah, as we're flying home, I said, well, it's kind of like, man, will she ever stop crying? He goes, no. He says, I love how deep you get into the song. Mm-hmm. And that right there released me to always go, whatever the song is doing, mm-hmm. I can allow it to do that. Because it was like, well, I don't know, the other musicians could be judging, but he didn't judge me. Mm-hmm. And so my idea on stage is all about, I want you to feel something. I don't look at your face and go, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying it? Do you think I'm doing a good job? And that again came, here's another little side story, was when my husband was dying. I had a gig at one of the restaurants, and it was like, I'm in my cocktail dress and I'm going to run out the door. And I said, 2 hours, I'll be right back. And he said, I got to use the bathroom. And so I get him up, put him on the commode. And one of my kidults had emptied the commode, but they didn't put it back right. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, there's pee all over my hardwood floor. So I get him, put him back up into the bed. Now I'm cleaning the floor in my gown. And then I go, 2 hours, I'll be right back. So as I'm driving down there, I went, what the heck am I doing? I have a dying husband, and then I'm going to go up there and I'm going to sing, nay, for all of these people. I am so, it's like, and they don't even know that I've got a dying husband. And then as I'm driving, it was like, but you're going to go do your job, because you don't know if there's someone in that room that might be in a place of respite, and you're going to give them 2 hours of a break. Go do your job. And that's what I did. And that, again, shifted my thinking of, my job is not to be the best singer, to be the, My job is, if you come into my show and you were excited, then I'm to lift you higher. If you came into my show and you were downtrodden, or who knows what the heck is going on in your personal life, my job is just to give you 2 hours of just going, here, it's going to be okay. And so that's what I do. And that's kind of my whole thing in life. If I see something that, like, my kids and I are all deep and empathetic people. And it's like, I'll pick the one out in the room that is, the most downtrodden. And that's the one, I got to make a beeline for them. And, I got to lift them up a little bit, not always. And I'm not conscious. It's just what you need to do. And it's like, and my whole, when I end my shows, it's always choose kindness. There is so much mess out there. And if each one of us I just want to be kind to you. I want to be kind to you. Could you imagine if everybody just did an act of kindness in one day, you know, what an amazing world this would be. Amazing.
Yes. We could start to really shift things. There is, and it's so funny. I said, like, I'm half redneck, need a compound, gonna put a big wall around it and keep everybody safe. And the other half of me is love and rainbows and unicorns. And I just,
Yeah.
And it can be a little bit challenging to be both committed quite fully to both those girls.
That's right. So I make a big compound, but I just bring you all in.
That's right. It's like,
not sure who's out there, but
love that. I love that. I don't know if I ever totally, I don't remember because I don't remember. So I'm really glad that I got to meet Daryl before, while he was still, because he's a magnificent being. So I want to say that. And that, now that I'm thinking of it, the first video I saw from your family was the one he made for his sons on him shaving. That was absolutely stunning. I remember when I first met him, and I hope that this is okay. I remember when I first met him, and he just always went out of his way to be so kind to me. And I was, it was before my accident, but I was still a bit scrambled in those days. And I thought, why is this guy always so nice? He's just so nice. And then I started looking into him, reading his Facebook stuff, just doing all this. And then I found out that he wasn't, there was an expiration date that was a little closer than we would want it to be, or way closer. And I, at that moment, said, I'm going to get to know this guy. And I made it my business to, even just through little Facebook things and stuff, because I didn't want this thing to pass. I didn't want him to come and go. And I had this, what turned out being, maybe 1 or maybe 2 years, a very short window to have an opportunity to get to know this person. And I'm really grateful that I did. And I think, and I can't even imagine, well, he was already your biggest fan. Well, second, maybe only to your mom, but I can just imagine, like, what a team. And that you continue on with this beautiful, amazing life. Like, no wonder your kids are so awesome. How could they be anything but awesome? Look who their parents are. They
are fabulous. I do say they are fabulous people. They are. If I had to be locked down with a group of people, I was locked down with the best people in the world. Just on who they are and their personalities, and there was fighting and scrapping going on, but ultimately,
I would hope so.
Ultimately, who they are, it's just, they are amazing, amazing people.
Yeah, and it's, so you've been growing and cultivating fabulous things since way before the garden.
Yeah,
this has been a 30-year process or something like that. That's been going on for so long, and now you just did a show. Was it Josiah? Did someone want to do one?
Oh, with my son Bo.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. I remember that that one of your kids just did a show with you.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fabulous, I bet.
Yes, it was. Yeah, he's an amazing singer. He can sing circles around me. His abilities and his note changing and bending and runs and everything he does. The thing is that he just needs, I have more stage time. Yes. But it's like, as soon as he has enough stage time and whatever, he sings circles around me, and his ability to write music and songs, the lyrics, like, it's just, that one of my favorite songs, which, I call it gameplay. He goes, I'm not calling it that, Mom, but the chorus, actually, I don't know if I should sing the chorus in case someone steals it, because he has.
Yeah, maybe you know what? I don't know what he has. Look at me.
Yeah.
Rainbows and unicorns, and don't trust nobody. I love you all, but I'm not giving you my kid's song.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
he has one in particular that touches you quite deeply.
Well,
And
yeah. Well, it doesn't touch me deeply. It's just like it's so well crafted, and and the lyrics are, everybody would go, who knew you could put, all the different types of games that we played as kids into a song.
Oh, how awesome.
But the song is quite profound.
Yes.
Where it's like the fact that it's like, well, I'm not going to play, I'm not planning to play all these games. I'm in for this, into this relationship, with everything. I'm not into playing any games, but it's this quirky little song. And it's just like, I just keep going, you need to finish and record it. You need to finish. I do have a recording of him just at the piano with it. But it's like, he's so well crafted. And so, he was down at Herman's watching Attila play, probably about a month and a half before my concert. And he was just like in awe of it. And he texts me, goes, Mom, Attila's so fantastic. And I go, yeah, I know. And he goes, so with your next show, do you think I could sit in and sing a song? I said, absolutely. You can do 4. And so each set. So you're going to do 8 songs. And,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It really was. And, good experience, for him. And it's a different, like, he plays more in the alternative world of music, pop and blues, R&B and all of that sort of stuff. But to come into this jazz world and then to work with Carl, Damien, and Joey, like every time you work with a musician that is, better than yourself,
yes,
it ups your game. Like
absolutely.
You walk away, you don't even know what you learned, but all of a sudden there is a shift in you. And I just thought there's, 2 nights of him working with these gentlemen. And, that's just going to, again, push him that much more.
To know what's possible. To know what's possible is the difference. You don't really know until you work with a really great band that maybe the people that yourself and the people you were working with before maybe weren't the greatest thing ever.
It was good before, but no. I was doing a CBC radio interview, and they said, who would be a mentor to you? And I said, and for inspiration and stuff. And I said, Carl Rusing. I said, he has been my mentor for, for however long now that we've been playing together. I said, and I didn't even know it. Just listening to him accompany me has just, it's just like, I'm a better musician all of a sudden. I don't know why. I understand things differently.
Yes.
But just working with him, unbeknownst to him, he's just doing his thing, playing the piano. And but that's where my inspiration comes from, my things that I will challenge myself to do, to step out. It's like he's been my biggest mentor, a musician mentor.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it's interesting to me, if I'm coming full circle again, thinking about it, there's a way that not everyone has in them to strive for excellence, or not everyone knows that they do. Maybe that's a better way to say that. I think that we all have it, but some people have an ability to focus a little bit more. And for whatever reason, if that's a wiring in their brain, nature, nurture, I don't know, right? Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You seem to have that quite a bit, in that you figured out your lane musically and you poured yourself into that. And you figured out your lane in a garden and you poured yourself into that.
Yeah.
And as a do it yourself DIY. I was trying to remember. No, not DU, not DU. I don't. Not a DUI. No, let's not start the rumor here. As a do-it-yourselfer, like building those things, and I think, there's something that happens when, and I'm going to say, it doesn't have to be with a woman, but I'm going to say, as a woman, I'm going to say, I really relate to when I do something that maybe typically someone of my generation or gender didn't typically do. And I think,
Yeah.
I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good. It's like, oh my gosh, when my brother passed away very suddenly, I spent a lot of time with my sister-in-law, and we talked a lot about I'm not going to say the line, but everything we did, and we did it without any part of us being male, because I'll just leave that for the listeners to figure out. So, but there was I remember how that felt for us.
Yes.
We had to figure out all the stuff Bruce did, that all of a sudden you didn't have to, you didn't have that guy to do that stuff for us.
Yeah.
And so I know a little bit of that feeling that just is like, it's so empowering.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. When you just been walking in your, if you're thinking about whatever lane, you're just walking in this lane of life. And then you go, oh, I don't know if I can, I didn't know if I could properly dress a chicken. Would I have the stomach to do it? Would I be able to? And that is a, doesn't matter who you're doing it. But the thing was going through that process and learning how to take apart a chicken. It was super empowering.
Wow.
And the person that was teaching me from her farm, she says, yeah, the thing is, she goes, all my daughters, they know how to do this. They know how to dress a chicken, because if you were in the middle of nowhere and you needed to eat, I would know how to take apart whatever little animal that I'm going to eat.
Yes.
And it's like, so again, there's that aspect of skill set and provision and, self-sufficiency, that you go, I know how to do X, Y, Z.
Yes.
And again, with the building, it's like, I love, power tools, drills, but to actually, put together a plan. And some of the things that Marissa and I built, we just would have an idea, and then we would just, okay, we got some scrap lumber and let's build. For years, I've always just had all my tools in a garbage can in the shed. So every time that if you try to take one out, all of them come out.
Right.
And so we actually designed ourselves a tool bench, outdoor tool bench, and, put some wire through one side of it so we could just put the tools in. They're all standing upright. But we didn't have a plan or a map. We just went, okay, this is how we think it should look. We'd kind of draw it out and then cut it to scale. And again, that's, so empowering for my daughter to go, she's got all of these skill sets that she can, take care of, a complete farm herself, just because we've been learning all this together. And so then it becomes a way of life.
Right. And I love that in the midst of it, that you so quickly realized, I need to teach my kids this because this is a lost art.
Yeah.
Because when we're in the middle of learning something, it can be a little bit difficult to share it, because we don't even know what we're doing yet.
Yeah.
But it's awesome that you sorted that out pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then you all got to do that together. And now your grandkids,
yes,
when they come, and they will come, and they will take over your life, and it's a beautiful thing. Trust me.
Yeah.
But there's something so powerful about knowing that it's going to go beyond, like the ancestors. We don't, our culture doesn't so much, the typical kind of Canadian culture, we don't talk a lot about the ancestors or where we come from, and how, and so many other cultures are way better at that.
Yes.
And now we're starting to learn the importance,
Yeah, well, the pressure canner, I think it's an all-American, I've seen other people's pressure canners, and and they're going, and it's, 75, it's 80 years old. And so you go, this pressure canner it won't, it will go on beyond
Yes.
my kids, it'll go
Yes.
to that next generation and beyond. And so you just go, yeah, this was, great grandma Maureen's, pressure
I thought of that. I just had this beautiful picture of, for whatever it's worth. I mean, I'm probably just Norman Rockwell at heart, but I just have this beautiful picture in my mind of cousins that are not yet born
Yes.
gathering around, and they're doing canning together, and they're doing these things, and they talk about the great pandemic of 20 to 23, and this is when the family got together and we learned how to do these things. And they'll say, really, did that really happen? Yes, it happened. And this is when and this is the same one that
Yeah.
Grandma Maureen, she did. I just had a beautiful picture of that how far it can go.
Yes. Yeah.
When we choose that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I do, like, I started at one point, when we were allowed to kind of congregate again back together. I actually was putting on classes to show people how to do pressure canning or how to make bread. My kitchen's set up in a way, I can have, 5 or 6 people all have their own counter space. And it's like, I want to dispel the pressure canners will kill you kind of thing that people are afraid of, like they'll blow up or whatever. And just to walk through how to do some canning yourself. And then it's like, and if you want to come and use me, my kitchen and my canner, you can come and do that. If you want to, make your own meals in a jar and stuff like that. So I've had a couple people do that, or they'll come and take a class on, we're going to make salsa, start with the basics and make some salsa up. And
this is awesome. I really hope, I mean, I hope that so many people that hear this will be inspired, and they will go and they will check out your station, your YouTube channel, and your whatever. They'll go and they'll check all that out, and they'll learn. And because just like what I just have this picture of, like, if you hit a glass, a windshield, or you hit ice, and there's that first initial thing, and then it just goes, and it spreads out like a web or something. And I think that it's inspiring because we need to get back to this.
Yes.
We really need to get back to this, and you make it
not just for being self-sufficient, but to be in community. Yes. So that that if there is a crisis, that there is a group of people that will come alongside and go, we're here to help you. We're here to help your kids. If I was to die suddenly, there's a community of people that would gather around my kids. Right?
Yes.
Or it's like somebody's, broke, if I broke my leg, a community that would come around and go, we're here to help you while you heal. Those kinds of things. It's 2020 and 21, I really feel like it brought, kind of these, fissures into communities and into families, and then made us all pull apart and, and be estranged to one another. We've forgotten, it's like the look of a person's face, be able to, see them and to share love and joy with them. You do see people where they're still a little bit like, you're like, just a human being, just like the rest of you, we're all the same. We're all the same, and to embrace one another.
Oh my gosh, virtually hugging you. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the magical, beautiful, lovely, incredibly kind, the wonder that is you. It's really nice. It's I'm gonna watch these tapes over because there's so much to glean from them, and I would invite others to do the same because, man, we covered a lot.
Yes.
This is, It is. We took him to church.
Yeah. But thank you. I really appreciate, again, over the years, your little comments on my Facebook. That's always, again, it's really encouraging, the words that you speak. And then just to being in, inviting me into your world. Again, I look at it that it's just such an honor, that you would, welcome me into your space. And like, and it's been this wonderful time together, and it's like, really, is it time already? Like, let's just keep going.
Right. Can we do this again another day?
Exactly. You're like, people are like, oh my gosh, like, what else are they going to talk about? But so I do really appreciate, you inviting me here and, to share with your listeners. And it truly is an honor. It's an honor. And then all the beautiful words that you spoke to me, that I'm so full that, I'm just going to be flying while I'm making my sourdough bread.
See, there you go. It'll be a really fun kind of sourdough today.
Exactly.
Well, I am so happy and so grateful that you did come and spend some time. So I will let you get to your sourdough, because I do not want to be personally responsible for whatever happens to sourdough, but I may come and take a class off you. And we'll have to see with that. I would like to, so I'll talk another time about that. But for now, Maureen, thanks so much for being with us. I really appreciate it, and there is so much to go through. I'm sure the listeners are going to be really blessed by your words. So this is Allie and Find Your Joy. Thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time with us here today. Oh,
my timer just went off, and I don't know if that got picked up. So maybe say your goodbye now, and we'll just have this little part cut out.
I'm not cutting this part out. I love these parts. They're my favorite parts. I do not. Timer. There's no way. There's no way. I didn't even hear it, but
okay. Yeah. Maybe. Well, I'm making a face. I'm going, oh, my timer.
I'm leaving this in for sure, because I like this kind of stuff. I'm just a weirdo. So this is Allie and Find Your Joy. Thanks so much for being with us. Maureen, thank you. And to everyone out there, thanks so much. And do know that you are loved. Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found a piece of your joy in this episode, I would love to hear about what came up for you, so that we can continue to grow the impact of this show. Thanks again. See you soon. And remember, find your joy.
Life is